Don't at me.
So what I really wanted to get into, the big thing with sports, obviously, now that it's been live, is dealing with the no fans aspect. I think going in, we were all kind of varying in what we were expecting. I don't think anybody really had a real understanding of what was going to happen. We hadn't seen anything like that before. Now, all of a sudden, we have basketball games with no fans. We've got baseball games with no fans. We've got baseball games with cutouts of fans. I just wanted to get into that, starting with baseball. How do you feel about the cutouts? How do you feel about the cardboard?
I love them.
You love them.
Nah, I want to buy. I want to get in on that shit.
Yeah. So for $100, you can get one at Minute Maid, and they put it in the Crawford box for you. So
hey, we doing that shit with the next bag, Square Business, Christmas.
Hey, you know what you could do? You know what you actually could do is if you got I wonder how much it would cost to be right behind home plate.
Oh, we there.
And they say send a pig. You send a pig with the don't at me.
Crispy boys there in the don't at me shit, nigga.
Hell yeah.
We gonna get headshots and all kind of shit.
I don't know how I feel about the cutouts, man. Like, I think it's weird with an empty stadium, but I mean, baseball's already kind of boring. So, as jarring as it is, it's not like I don't know. The cutouts
appreciate it. You don't appreciate the sounds of baseball. I think if you grew up loving baseball and being around baseball, when you hear those sounds that you're usually not hearing because of the crowd, like, to be honest, have you seen the UFC fights? Maybe that's a little more relatable to you. Have you seen the UFC fights without any fans?
I grew up
those
watching
punches.
baseball, but the thing is, it's authentic crowd noise, though. Like having it pumped out.
It sounds. When something happens in baseball, it actually it's dope. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I watched the telecast with and without the fake crowd noise, and I like the fake crowd noise because it just sounds like, I don't know. It makes it. Otherwise, I feel like lonely and shit while I'm watching it. I'm like, I don't know. Like, it seems like, I'm like, man, this is getting like desolate.
Oh no, pipe that shit in for sure.
And I like the cardboard cutouts too. Like, what I've noticed, been watching a lot of baseball the last few days since it started, and like the crowd, the stadiums that just have the empty seats, it looks not as cool. But then when you fill them up, and it's colorful, it's variety. It's like. And the announcers have fun with it too, because like there'll be pictures of dudes like freaking out, like with angry faces or whatever, and like if there's a bad call, they'll like pan to them and be like, "Oh, the Dodgers fans are livid." And
what would be
sometimes
dope?
they'll get knocked down by home runs and shit. Like it's a fun thing. It changes the scenery up. It looks a lot better than just plain green empty seats. Like for sure.
You know what I think it is though? It seems like the dimensions are weird. Like they seem like way wider than a normal person. Like my cutout would be like this. So like when you see it, it looks like how on like 2K, they'll do like the 360 panorama, like the old ones, but it'll show the same thing. Like the back of the head is still the head, like it's The Exorcist. That's what that shit looks like to me.
Nah, that's kind of dope because it kind of brings it to like video game-ish. It's kind of like we're playing video games. You know what I'm saying?
Like, it's not supposed to look real. It's not supposed to like they're not saying like these look like real people. This is realistic.
I'm not
like
suggesting they put wax figures. I'm just saying.
It's a funny thing.
With that, or animatronics or some shit.
Hey, did y'all also hear? Did y'all hear that at different stadiums, if you actually buy the cutout and you're in the outfield and the ball hits your cutout, they actually mail you the baseball.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like, y'all are selling me.
I'm with it. Hey, keep this though. So like what's dope and like what could come about that is like, all right, you know how we're saying it's kind of like video games and shit. You know how video games got progressively better and shit.
Yeah.
Like that those animations and shit got progressively better. So what if it like got to yes, graphics. My son's talking to me right here. But anyway, like how those got to like better and shit is like, what if like you could get like upgrades and shit, like a screen, you know what I'm saying, or like a live stream that actually like
that would be cool.
Like that type of shit, like so it can. Hey, that's $1 billion idea right there.
Some LED lights, some like color changing stuff.
Like, I don't doubt that they can really get creative with what they do. I just feel like you don't know what to expect. You learn from it. So I'm not saying I'm over it. Like they're done, they failed, but I don't know. Like it's gonna take getting used to for me. But I do like these little perks though. Like if it hits your cutout, they'll send you the ball. I like when the announcers kind of dive into it. It just seems a little bit strange, but
The funny
I think I can come
whole-
around.
the whole
Gary,
season
I
is
wanted to
strange,
shout
though.
out Gary since Gary joined the pod. Gary,
What's up, Gary?
where you
It's
at with your
good.
fans, man, on baseball? The cutouts, no cutouts.
So I noticed it early last week. It kind of threw me off, but I think it works. Specifically for baseball, there usually isn't, especially early on in the season, it works just because there usually isn't too much fanfare and crowd noise anyway. I mean, if you look at some ballparks, they're halfway empty anyway. So for now, it's working. So, I mean, come postseason, when you need that crowd and hype and home field advantage, that's when it plays a big part.